Okay, my dad is current military.
Did
My
you
mother
know?
is ex-military.
Did you know in Israel that regardless of your gender, you have to support your country?
Absolutely, and you should support your country.
Yeah, you don't
Okay,
have to do it on the
but
front lines.
but if you want to do the whole men versus women thing, Annika Sorenstrom, you know who she is?
She's a golfer, is it?
Uh,
Oh no, is she there?
She's a
Is
female. Yeah,
Annika
she's a
Sorensen?
golfer.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
cause
she's a female golfer that says I can take on any man, okay, and I can beat any man. Well, she played in the men's tournaments. She didn't make the cut in 35 tournaments. Okay, Serena Williams. I want to play in a men's tournament. She played a man who was ranked 200 in the world in the men's and got beaten 6-0, 6-1. Okay, she got fucking flogged. Okay, the simple fact is, men and women are biologically different. We think differently. Our muscles are differently. Our body structure is different. Okay, let me put it to you like this.
but just
Even within
because,
men,
but
this is
just
the
because,
case.
okay, but just because,
I don't see how that difference, should like I don't believe that because of that difference we should come to the conclusion that like
but you can
I
serve.
don't see I can come to the conclusion that
You can
women shouldn't be on the front lines. I don't understand.
you can serve
What's
in the
the problem with men?
military. You can serve in the military, the army, the navy, and you don't have to necessarily be on the front lines. You can serve your
That's right.
country.
And
You can serve
I
your
have
country in
no
other
problems with
ways.
support services. I've got no problems with support services. Okay, I've got no problems with women being in the engineering corps, trans people being in the engineering corps. No problems with them being in recovery, support services, logistics. Any of that. But if you're putting a female, okay, with 5 or 6 men and sending a group into Afghanistan, the female is not going to be as quick. She's not going to be as um, adept to be able to handle with the emotional conditions that are being portrayed on the front line. And I'm not saying
Isn't that what basic training is for?
yes, but the standards are different. The standards for women in basic training and the standards in women in their fitness and mental capacity is a lot different to the men's.
Okay, well, do you have any like sources that says that like the standard for basic training it doesn't help their mental state when they're fighting? Like I know that it's different, right? Because obviously they're physically different, they're physically and mentally different. But like, how do we know that that's not enough? For how do we know that's not enough for fighting on the front lines? Like, are you saying that every woman, like women generally, are just gonna panic when they
No,
talk to each other?
absolutely. No. When you're in the army, they train you to overcome that panic, and instead of running away from a gunshot, you run towards a gunshot. Which personally, I think is fucking retarded. Which is why I never joined the military. Okay, both my parents are military. My father was one rank below a general. Okay, all right. He's still in the reserves now, but they wanted me to join the military. No fucking way would I join the military because they train you to run towards a fight rather than away from a fight, and that just goes against my natural instincts of self-preservation. All right. As for women on the front line, okay, when women are on the front line, because they think differently, they are biologically designed to think differently. That difference in thought can be the difference between getting killed and not being killed. Okay, women are not, and I'm saying this in general. I'm not saying this specifically.
Right,
Okay,
of
women
course.
in general, okay, aren't able to handle the emotional constraints of warfare than men are. Okay, and I'm sure if you'd like me to, I can find a half a dozen studies on it because both the Australian Army, the New Zealand Army, the Canadian Army, and the Israeli Army have been doing this for years. Women make better spies and women make better torturers. Okay, but women
Yeah,
make
like
better
James Bond.
negotiators. Yeah,
You get it?
I
Because
don't see the lore.
you ever watch
I don't.
you ever watch Tomorrow Never Dies, where M says pump her for information.
Yeah, yeah, mate. But women make the best torturers. Okay, flat out. The Israelis have proved that time and time again. Women make the best spies. Flat out. The Israelis have proven that. And the Germans and the Russians and the Chinese have proven this time and time again.
Oh, the
Okay?
Chinese. I did you hear about that? That guy that was having sex with that Chinese woman. in the I
Which
think
one?
maybe
The three. There were two different generals that were caught having sex with the same chick.
no,
I
he
think it
wasn't.
was
He wasn't
three.
a general. He was a politician, but I don't remember his name. See
Oh
what
no,
Canada
the
was
one
talking
I'm
about.
talking about. Well, I think she could have been sleeping with one of the other military guys as well, because there were a couple of guys who were working. They might have been civvies working in the Pentagon, but there were a couple there as well. But when we talk about people like Trump, okay, Trump is a populist. All right, whether or not you like to admit it or not, Trump is a populist. Okay, and personally, this is my opinion. In my opinion, there is no way on this earth, in any way, shape, or form, that Biden received more votes than Obama.
Why
None.
not?
I personally would disagree. If you understand how American politics work, it's like if people really hate someone, they will vote for the opposition of what they hate. Trust me on this one.
Of course. But you've got to remember that there's a big difference between misinformed, and when I mean misinformed, I'm talking about both sides. Okay, I'm not specifically talking left or right. I'm talking both sides. When you've got groups that are misinformed, when you've got groups who are basically their targeted identity. Okay, so gender identity and identity politics, for example. Okay, when you're specifically told that this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, then naturally you're going to go, okay, well, this must be what's going on. Right now, I'm somebody who is I'm kind of right wing, but I'm not right wing. I don't believe in guns. I don't believe that you should have the right to own a gun. But
Really?
as I said, yeah. But you've got to remember, we're from a different culture. We're from a different
Right.
background,
Yeah.
from a different ideology. Okay.
I mean, I fired a gun and I didn't take anyone's, by using a firearm.
No, no. But you look at the adage: if you take a gun to a fight, if you take a gun into a fight, expect to get shot. If you take
Oh,
a gun into a fight,
obviously.
expect to get stabbed. Okay. I'm
Unless they're
I'm
not the
from a
same.
country. I'm from a country who, whilst we have had our fair share of major gun issues, we have had mass shootings, we have had military explorations and military style warfare. Okay, and my dad was there. My dad was been every wartime since the fucking Gulf in the 80s. Okay, so anywhere you can think of, there's been a war, where the United Nations or Australia is sending troops. My dad's been there. Okay, so I'm talking at it from my perspective as somebody who is the child of a military person. Okay, we have not been. I'll explain it. This is the best way I can explain it to people, and they'll either understand me or they won't understand me. And if you don't understand me, then I apologize. I'll try to explain myself better. America and the people of America, as a general, have been at war for the last 200 years. Okay, there's only been like 6 years, 7 years, maybe between 6 and 15 years, where the United States has not been involved in any wartime situation. Okay, or military exercise in a foreign country, right? Eventually that will play on your psyche, because you have the view that we are constantly under attack, we are constantly under attack, we are constantly under attack, we need to defend ourselves. Okay, and that's a fine attitude to have if you are actually under attack, if you are being attacked, if there is somebody who's threatening you in an immediate situation, you do need to adjust. The problem that you've had is that the situation has gone from being, we are being attacked from external forces, to, oh, we're now being attacked from unknown internal forces. And if you've lived 200 years or 20 generations of going, okay, we're under attack, we're under attack, we're under attack, it's going to be a lot easier for you to believe that you're under attack when you may not actually be under attack. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I could see it. Like, if you're used to one way of living and then you get thrusted in another, you're not going to adapt very easily. So,
Right, but if you keep getting told that you're under attack, you're under attack, you're under attack, and you've got to defend yourself,
you
your
could,
natural mindset is going to be, oh my God, this person. I've never seen this person before. He's walking down the road. I'm under attack. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I kind of wanted to shift gears in the conversation because I'm actually I'm streaming Animal Crossing right now, and someone asked me why I think. So they asked me why do I think the Chris Hansen documentary, just the Chris Hansen parts, are garbage, and I'm like, the problem is.
Hansen is a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically. And that the main issue is like, look, in no way am I saying Onision, aka Greg, is a great person because I have a problem with the documentary. I think that part is actually done very well, and I think they highlight it very badly. I mean, very well how bad he is. It's kind of weird I have to say it like that, but you're like, oh, it's well how they highlight how bad he is. It's like, how can you be so good at something so bad? But you get what I'm saying. But yeah, the problem I have is like there's so much misinformation, like how Chris Hansen was the one that tackled the whole situation, and all you can think is like, what about Repsion? He made the first video in 2011. And what about everyone else that came forward?
I mean, Rexon could have gotten credit, but he didn't even want to be in it. So
I mean, it's his decision.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
I do think that maybe he should have gone in, and if he could have been able to voice his perspective, that might help. But it's hard to say because with these documentaries, like you can tell there's a heavy hand in what narrative they're trying to pull, and the way it looks so far, I want to believe Edwin. I want to believe that he came forward and told what?
Of course he didn't.
No, he said he did. Like I believe he. Okay, here's the thing. You have to remind yourself, it's only the first episode, so we don't know everything that's being said. But you know what? They could easily throw what he says out the door. Like, it wouldn't even matter if he came up and he said, well, I have to be upfront with you. Chris Hansen actually hurt more than it helped in his actions.
I'll give you another example. Okay, I'll give you another example. What channel is the show on? It's on Discovery, yeah.
Discovery Plus.
Discovery.
It's a streaming service.
Yeah, I watched it through. I don't go streaming services. I just torrent everything. So, I've watched the documentary. I watched the first part. I'm going to say this. You need to look at who's making the documentary, who's producing the documentary, and what the documentary gets out of it.
Okay, so let's look that up. So who made the great Onision documentary, right? So
What are you doing, Matt? I'll give you another example. Do you know who Amber Heard is?
of course.
yeah,
Do you
she's
know who Johnny Depp is?
yeah.
Do you honestly believe, after seeing all the evidence, that Johnny Depp abused Amber Heard?
No. Well, I mean, the evidence wouldn't suggest it. I've heard people say that that this could have been like a two-way abusive relationship, but if it was, there's only evidence pointing to Amber Heard abusing Johnny Depp.
That's exactly right. So then, why is it that the court in the UK, the newspaper, and every single person that's supporting Amber Heard is still supporting her when all the evidence, all the information that's been entered into court, which is freely available, shows Amber Heard abusing Johnny Depp and then laughing at her, saying, "You're a man; they'll never believe you."
Because, I mean, she's being popped up by Hollywood and the media.
So do you think that so when you see something like that happen, okay, as a man, all right, don't you start to think, well, what's the point of me doing anything? No one's going to believe me anyway, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. It's a fine thing having a lot of allegations, but if there's no substantive evidence and there's no evidence at all, okay, then the allegations are not, they're not even allegations.
They're accusations.
Allegations, that's exactly right. If you make an accusation, it's different to making an allegation. If you
Right.
make an allegation, that says you've got evidence to back it up. Okay? Now, Chris Hansen is the worst fucking thing that happened to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
He's a slime bag.
He is.
Thought
He's
about
the
it.
worst thing, actually.
He himself should be put in jail for half the shit that he's done. Okay? For
Really?
starters,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Actually, I have to agree.
absolutely.
I have to agree. I think Chris
Regardless of
Hansen should.
regardless of what he's doing, okay, and regardless of the outcome he achieves, all right, the means to do it are bad. It's
They
extremely
are.
bad.
They're very bad. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't
but
just.
if we're gonna put Chris Hansen in jail, you might as well put the entire team that was working on to catch the predator in jail.
Fucking absolutely put them all in jail. They've
I
fucking
mean,
smelled
here's the
blood.
problem. It's like you blur the
Chris
lines.
Hansen would come out as
You blur the lines of your television show when you're covering that kind of material for entertainment. It's a form of
That's
profit,
exactly right.
and it's not, and that's why when the woman was suing, she was in the right. And that's why, you know, Hanson's career was over. He didn't realize he was so greedy, he didn't care what it took. And he would do whatever it takes to make the other person look bad, even if they were innocent. And it's like, you
I
can't.
forgot about the guy that killed himself.
Shows like Cops, I don't agree with Cops. I think Cops is a bad show because
Yeah.
you know the best thing that TV ever did that set up
Cheaters.
the cop show. They set
Cheaters.
up a fucking black screen in front that says this story is fucking fictitious. All people in the show are fucking actors. None of this is fucking real. It's on the start of every Law and Order, every fucking, Jerry Bruckheimer show that says this is not thing. When you have shows like that, like Jerry Springer, okay, like Ricky Lake, like Oprah, that blur fucking
Maury.
reality into fiction. Yeah, Maury Povich. I love Maury Povich, by the way. I think he's a slide bag. I think he needs to get punched in the face.
I have to say, the memes are hilarious. Come on, you have to love. You are not the father. Like,
Oh, but it's great. It's great.
Dragnet, you really are a fucking Australian. You're the type. You really just said, "I love that guy. He needs to get punched in the face." What the fuck?
are you gonna tell me Foster's for beer?
No, fuck no. Foster's is not Australian. No one in Australia drinks Foster's.
Good, good.
I'm going to tell you. You want to know what my? I love catchy TV shows. I fucking love the Shaven Freud. I love the fucking drama. Do you know the best show I've watched in years? And I watch this show fucking religiously, purely for the bullshit. Dance Mums.
Really?
All right,
That's
listen.
an interesting take.
The purest of the mothers. I don't even watch this. I fast forward through the dancing. I just want to see the mothers fighting with each other because
No,
it's just fucking amazing.
I
Okay,
can't get
but
behind that.
I can't handle Beverly Hills women. Beverly Hills Wives or Women of fucking Atlanta or fucking Housewives. Those housewife shows. I can't stand
Oh
them.
my god, you know what I
They're
can't
fucking
stand?
atrocious.
I used to live in New Jersey, and every time when I was in school, when I was in college back in like 2010, my friends would be like, "Oh, is this how New Jersey's like?" I'm like, "Screw you! Like, not everybody in New Jersey acts like this."
No,
It's so
no. But
Fucking
having
hilarious.
those those stigmas and having those um, cultural stereotypes is important. Okay, it is important. People don't realize this.
kind of think it's negative.
It doesn't, mate. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. Okay, they are important. All right, because they are a differentiator. Not everybody is the same.
I
Okay,
mean, I get that not everybody's the same, but like if you had a negative stereotype and people judged you based on the stereotype, that'd be kind of shitty.
I mean, I guess,
I'm
but if
from
it's in a joking
Australia.
manner, then it's not really that bad.
I'm from Australia.
Exactly.
Okay,
Like you're a fucking
we
cunt, mate.
I'm an absolute cunt. I am the biggest fucking asshole on the planet, but I'm nice about it. And that's the thing that people don't understand. They think that, oh, well, he's an Australian the biggest misconception that people have of Australia is Australians are drunks. All Australians are drunks. Yeah, we like our fucking drink, but we work fucking hard for it. And you work out fucking outside for 10 hours, 12 hours a day in fucking 30, 40 degree, 100 Fahrenheit weather. And you tell me you don't feel like a fucking cold beer at the end of that shit. Yeah, like we have all these misconceptions about Australians. There's a lot of misconceptions about Australians that are true. Okay, we are drunks. We love a fucking drink. We will get pissed every
You guys
fucking
don't have
weekend.
shit on Irish people, whatever.
Well, no, we don't. Okay, we are also technically one of the fattest countries in the world.
I'd say America. I think America has you beat on fattest.
Only just. Only just, and I'm serious, only just. Australia's population is getting fatter. All right? We've, we've got... Australia has stereotypes in New Zealand. Okay?
It's so easy not to. But it's so easy not to drink.
Of course it is. I don't drink at all, but my brother's a fucking binge drinker. He'll drink from Friday night till Sunday night and go to work and work in the fucking mines for the rest of the week.
So, okay, let me, because we kind of, like, jumped away from the point I was talking about, and someone asked me a question about the honey. Okay, so you watched the Discovery Plus thing, right? Did you watch the, you didn't watch it? The documentary?
Me,
I was,
watched it.
yeah, you watched it.
I was smoking while I was watching it.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, easily, Chris Hansen adds nothing to the documentary.
No, he adds absolutely nothing.
Like, you could take that documentary, kick him out, and it would have way more appeal and value.
Chris Hansen is the Indiana Jones of Temple of Doom.
That's
take
an...
Indiana Jones out of Indiana
I was gonna say he's the wife in that, but okay.
Temple of Doom was amazing.
I was gonna say he's the woman in that. He's the woman in that.
The Lost Ark, okay? Because if you take Indiana Jones out of it, the Nazis still find the treasure, they still find the Ark of the Covenant, and nothing changes. Indiana Jones in that movie is completely pointless. Chris Hansen in the documentary is completely pointless. If they edited Chris Hansen out, the documentary would be better because it'd have more authority rather than less.
Right.
Okay, but at the same time, you remember the Michael Jackson documentary that came out a couple of years ago?
I actually don't think I watched that one.
Oh, Neverland, right? Return to Neverland.
Finding
But
Neverland.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, go on.
Okay, nothing ever came of that. Nothing ever came of that. After that, they tried to sue the estate. The courts turned around and said, "You've got no fucking evidence. Fuck off." There's no evidence for it. Okay. However, in other situations, like finding the R. Kelly one, okay, that was incredibly important because it actually provided fucking evidence.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you're making an accusation, you're basically just doing a hit piece on somebody, regardless of whether you like them or not. Personally, I'm not a fan of his, okay? I don't particularly like him. I don't find him funny. I don't find him entertaining. He's not somebody that I watch. I don't even watch him once a year unless Tipster covers it, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll fucking check it out.
Are you talking about Chris Hansen or?
Onision.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I like watching Chris Hansen because I like watching the shit stuff that he gets up to, and I like yelling at my TV saying, "Mate, you're full of fucking shit." I can tell just by looking at you, you're full of fucking shit.
Right.
Okay. So I'm all for allegations with substance. Okay. What was that Brett Kavanaugh? You remember the Brett Kavanaugh hearing?
Hold my beer. Yeah.
There was no evidence, and the chick actually turned around and said, "I can't remember. I can't remember. No, I don't know. I don't know." So drag this guy through court because you're a fucking bullshitter. You're claiming he's a fucking abuser and a fucking a rapist and all this other shit with no fucking evidence. And when asked to provide evidence, they couldn't. So the fact is, there's no checks and balances beforehand to say, okay, you've got evidence, go for it. Rather than just being, okay, there's accusations, we need to investigate. Once you have your investigation, then you find out if there's any evidence to support it. If there's no evidence to support it, that's the end of the fucking conversation. Onision isn't in jail yet, okay? As far as I'm aware, he's not got any current lawsuits pending against him, okay? He's not under arrest for anything. So at what point do you go, okay, well, there's allegations with no evidence, that makes them accusations. If there is evidence, let's get the evidence looked at, and if the right people in charge look at that evidence and say there's no
I mean, I think the big problem is there was that computer And then we all know
They say that.
Vincent Nicotra took it, so why aren't people pursuing You don't know who Vincent Nicotra is?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that argument. And here's the reason why I don't agree with that argument.
Okay.
Regardless of how long he's had the laptop, regardless of how long he had the hard drive, regardless of what he did to it, apart from destroy it, okay, because that's the only way to destroy a hard drive is to physically smash it with a fucking hammer, okay? All the information is dated. It's got hard-coded coding in it which tells you when it was created, when it was last viewed, when it was, all this other information. They could easily look at it and go, okay, well, this was sent on this date in 2016, okay? Or they could turn around and say, well, this document was created in 2020. And if the document was created in 2020 and there's no evidence to suggest that it's fucking been created in 2016 when that person says, there is no evidence. Do you see what I mean?
But I'm just saying that this really could have helped the case. I mean, I can't say that it was like absolutely like the computer had like complete damning evidence, but you have to admit the fact that they did not turn over the police is extremely sus of the fact of like how it's like you're telling me that Chris Hansen is a detective and yet his lackey is such a dumbass. That
What it tells you is that they've had the information, they've looked into the information, there's no evidence there, so they're trying to conceal the information.
I mean, we literally cannot. We can't know.
We don't know.
We
We
don't.
We'll never know. Okay. All right. We just don't know. But
I just think it makes Chris look like an incompetent detective.
Well, he is.
I'm just saying.
He's not even a detective.
I'm sorry, reporter.
Look.
I mean,
You want to know the best fucking criminal that got into television? Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I mean, I don't care for his show, but okay.
Do you remember who Tim the Tool? What's his fucking name?
Home Improvement. Yeah, Tim Allen.
Home Improvement.
Oh.
Okay. Right. He went to fucking jail for drug distribution, for cocaine. All right. Back when he was fucking younger. Tim Allen. Yeah, he got arrested. Tim Allen got done and did time for fucking distribution of cocaine. He's on television making a huge fucking career. All right. Chris Hansen started on television and will end up in fucking jail.
Oh yeah. Chris Hansen's.
That Family Guy joke. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Chris is probably gonna.
Yeah, I just got there's a joke on Family Guy.
You know what I always wondered? Did Chris Hansen ever pay back that guy at $13,000 for the mugs and the T-shirts?
Fuck no.
So if he still owes him money,
it's gone to court. They're suing him.
But how? But if here's my question: is he broke?
Probably.
There's a good chance that he is. Judging by his location and setup, I'd say there's a good chance he's not doing too well financially.
I don't want to say he's broke, but
I think it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how he said that he was selling a boat. I was like, how can you sell a boat and not have enough money? Like,
people have sold boats that they haven't actually had boats. Okay.
Yeah.
America still has debtor prison, don't they?
America still has what?
Debtor prison, where if you go too much in debt and you refuse to pay, they'll just send you to jail.
Probably.
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it depends on the debt. I think it depends on the debt and where it comes from.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because
I mean, I think the problem with Chris Hansen, I think him owing the money, that more counts as theft. That's why he's going to jail.
Well, they're suing him, so he'd be sued under misrepresentation of misunderstanding.
All right, let me Google this and check it. Can you go to jail for being in debt? Okay, let's just see.
You should have just Google typed debtors.
A debt collector can't send you in jail for civil debts like unpaid cards, student loans. According to fair debt collection practices, no debt collector can threaten to send you to jail. Okay, so let's see. What states can you get jailed for debt? The states where you can be jailed. Let's see. Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Oklahoma, Utah, and Washington are among the states where debtors have been able to lock people up. So there are some states that can lock you up for that.
There are some states that do it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably more of a state law. And if he's in New York, he can get away with it. If he's in New York, if he's in Connecticut, but say he goes down, let's say, he has a beach house in Key West. Ooh, well, you're in now Florida, you're going to be judged under Florida law. So, unless, I don't know, do they generally tend to go with whatever your residency is? Like, if you are a resident of such state, that's what they judge you on?
I would say that they judge you based on your residential location.
It would be either that or the crime in which you committed it. The state in where the crime was committed. So if it was Connecticut, then no. Then no, he can't go to jail for it.
That would require extradition, and states won't extradite the states for laws that they don't believe.
Sometimes people get extradited, but if it looks like what I'm seeing, he's not going to get extradited to Connecticut. That's just
no. He'll get done for fraud or breach of contract. That's what he'll get done for. Okay. But the issue with Chris Hansen is that the more in the old days, back before the internet and before the YouTube, when people like this were scums of society, we paid them no attention and they disappeared. Now you've got the scum of society making videos on YouTube and things like that. They get more attention. They keep feeding their fucking ego and id. All right, and eventually they build themselves up to they have this belief where they're fucking untouchable, and that's what Chris Hansen did. That's how he did his shit. He got to a point where mate, think of it. Doing fucking To Catch a Predator. The balls on the bloke, and how much fucking ego he would have had to walk into a fucking room with a fucking 300-pound bloke who could fucking kill him with one punch and just go, take a seat. Like, how big of an ego would you have to have? He built himself up so that he was untouchable, and then he got fucking burned, and he got burned hard.
Oh yeah, he got burned terribly.
Do you know why that show eventually got cancelled?
Because he pursued someone that killed themselves, and they had a lawsuit. Do you know
why Jerry Springer got cancelled?
I'm guessing a lawsuit, or someone killed themselves.
They bashed him. One of the fucking contestants punched the fuck out of him.
Out of Springer?
Okay. Out of Jerry Springer, yeah.
I could see that. I mean, if you're on reality television, your feathers are going to get ruffled, and you don't know how people are going to react to you.
Absolutely. But Maury Povich, same thing. Death threats. Okay? In America, in England, and then in America, they had a guy by the name of Jeremy Kyle, okay, called the Jeremy Kyle Show. And this guy was a scumbag. He was worse than fucking Springer. At least with some of Springer's contestants, they were still outrageous, and you go, okay, this is really fucking not normal.
I think the thing that made me laugh for Springer was when they would have, like, this couple, and then there'd be a man, and there'd be, it was kind of funny but sad, but it was a, male to female, and, and, like, the guy wouldn't realize that the woman used to be a man, and then the best was, there was a play him off keyboard cat, where it's like, the woman confesses that she used to be a guy, and his face gets totally wiped. Like, it's hilarious. Wait.
The funniest one for me is when the midget married the midget bride, the midget and the normal sized woman got married, and
Oh, here it is. Here it is. You ready for it?
Watch live and local news
let me watch
on a
this
variety of
stream.
Are you
networks.
on
YouTube
my
and
stream?
Try it
Yeah, I'm
free.
watching your stream now through Discord.
Okay.
Talking here with Christopher, and Christopher seems like a very nice guy. Has not been very active with women, and in fact, only last week at the age of 31, that was the first time you had ever been intimate with a woman.
He looks way older than 31.
He
She was
is
an
not
escort.
fucking 31.
All right, let's bring
He
it
looks
back.
like he's either 50 or 60.
Christopher, here's Gianna.
I'd say late 40s. Okay, that is definitely a man.
Oh, I got these for you.
Post off,
Oh, isn't she? She's gorgeous. Isn't she?
She are indeed.
Aww.
You know, honestly, there's
Nose,
something
jaw
that I need to
structure,
tell you,
eye
and
line.
the only
brow
thing that we have in
structure,
common
neck.
together is that we were both born male.
That made me laugh.
It's kind of like back to being a virgin.
Hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
Although I don't agree with what Springer says when he says it's back to being a virgin. It's like, look, if they had sex, like, that doesn't take away the fact that he swiped his V card. Like, still.
No, but, okay, now I have a problem with shit like that, okay? Because if I'm going to date somebody, alright, okay, and with it, in my specific situation, in the context of my relationship with my ex, who has now transitioned to being a male, we were in a BDSM relationship. She was my baby girl. Okay, so I called her baby girl. It didn't matter what her gender identity or how she identified as was, because I have my own views on that. Okay, but she was my baby girl. He now has a fucking full beard, and I still call him baby girl because that was our relationship.
Okay.
But I knew that the relationship with that individual was not going to be able to be a long-term relationship. Why? Because I want children. Somebody wants to transition from being female to male, I have no problems with, but that is not somebody that is willing to have children.
Well, actually, believe it or not, female to males can still actually carry children.
Oh, I know. We had that conversation. We talked about it.
But generally speaking, I would say I don't think female to males generally want kids, or generally want it, like, as in they don't want to, like, birth them, because it's not really what the gender kind of.
That's exactly right. Men don't have babies. I identify as a man. I don't give birth.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm okay with that. Okay.
I mean, maybe there are. I could be wrong. There probably are some female to males. Yeah, there are. But I would say on average, you're not gonna find a lot of female to males that want to give birth.
Biologically, no.
I actually had a conversation with a guy I'm friends with, and he was originally a woman. He actually won IML, and there was a huge storm over it, if you couldn't imagine, because, like, some of the people on the judge board are very pro cisgender, and so when it got news out that a female to male won, they were not happy, but he got canceled very quickly. Like, it did not go over very well for them. And
I don't like the term cisgender. I fucking hate it. It's
I mean,
a label on something that doesn't need a label. Okay? I don't care what you fucking identify as. You can identify as a fucking
helicopter.
A fucking puppy. You get like that chick that I fucking saw on Vice who fucking was identified as a fucking puppy. That's a form of BDSM. That's a form of kink. That is not a lifestyle choice. You cannot live your life as a fucking dog. Okay?
Did you see the joke that I think it was Mr. Beast did when he was, like, really young with some kid about identifying as a helicopter?
now you got to realize that these are my opinions. These are my specific opinions.
Okay.
And I'm happy to have these conversations. I'm happy for people to try and change my mind if they show me the scientific evidence and the literature.
Okay.
Because I will change my mind based on science. Okay? The science does not agree longitudinally with the trans lifestyle and the trans identity issues. I am okay with lesbians. I am okay with homosexuals. I am okay with how are you? The LG and the B, I've got no problems with. Okay? Everything after that, all right, has their own individual personal problems. If I was an alcoholic and I came up to you and I said, give me a bottle of bourbon, and you knew I was an alcoholic, would you give me that bottle of bourbon?
No. Because then I'd be enabling you.
That's exactly my point. Okay? If you want to identify as a female, I don't care. You want to identify as a police helicopter, I don't care. All right? I will identify you by how I visually see you and what your name is. Okay? So, for example, my ex, who has now got a fucking full beard, okay, his name is Kason. And when I talk to other people, I'll say, this is my mate Kason, because mate is a gender neutral term. Okay, they can make the assumptions on who Kason is on their own. Okay, that's not up for me to tell them anything. Okay, but if you are a male, and we go back to South Park here. Sorry if anyone gets triggered by South Park.
I love South Park, actually, so you're not triggering me at all.
I'll tell you a story in a little while. If you had, okay, you remember the episode where Strong Woman is competing in the Olympics and Macho Man Randy Savage turns around and identifies as a woman?
Who would it?
Competes. It's Macho Man Randy Savage. That's who they're ripping off. So in one of the later episodes of South Park, Strong Woman enters a contest, like an Olympic type event, right? Okay, the strongest woman event. Okay, and her ex-boyfriend, okay, who is a bodybuilder, decides to identify as a woman and enters the same competition and crushes everything, like just wins every single thing. Okay, that changes things, because if you can go from one day identifying as a male and the next day identifying as a female with no hormone therapy, no mental, no psychological evaluation and testing, okay, then to me that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. Again, it comes down to evidence. But Blair White is amazing. Blair White. Okay?
Ooh.
I think she is amazing.
Okay.
I don't care if you like her or you don't like her. I think she is amazing. Okay. If you want to identify as something and you make the transitional steps and you actually go through what they need to do, okay, regardless of having surgery, if you're on estrogen or you're on testosterone and you have a beard or you have feminine features and you identify as a male or a female,
Damn it.
that's fine. I'm happy to do that.
Towel on the.
But if I get in a relationship with you and you tell me after the fact that you transition, that's a problem, because part of my getting into a relationship is looking at a long-term future where part of that future has children. And if you mislead me for a period of time, I am naturally going to have an antagonistic view towards you, which is why when we go back to that Jerry Springer clip, I can understand why that guy would be pissed off. Because he's dated this person under the impression that they are who they are when they're not who they are. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah, because they're gonna be misled.
That's right. And if you trust somebody and you open your heart to someone only to find out they've been misleading you or lying to you or misrepresenting the truth or however you want to say it, naturally you're going to have a very negative view towards that person, and you're going to be very upset because you've trusted somebody, they've broken your trust. It's like the gay community in Australia. Okay, I go out to a gay.
Okay, so I don't know if you've heard this in the gay community in Australia, but did you ever hear of a guy? I'm trying. Okay, there was some guy in Australia. He actually flew to the States so he could get married to this guy, and he died because of silicone injections.
I did not hear that.
It became an international story. There was a guy, his name is Dylan Haffertapen, and Dylan, I can look this up real quickly. Dylan Haffer.
And just so you know, I am pro gay rights. I am pro gay marriage. I am totally for that.
Okay, the guy's name from Australia was Jack Chapman.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, so what?
Horrible that happened.
So what happened is, Dylan Haffertapen is a part of this BDSM community, unfortunately, but he takes it a bit too far. Like, it's one thing if you do certain things in the bedroom, fine, but if you like make someone sign a contract, and you make someone sign a contract that your body and your thoughts control them, that's a little ridiculous. You gotta have to let someone, the person you're with, have some freedom of themselves. You can't just control everything of what they're doing outside the bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
I do. There are different types of relationships within the BDSM community, and those particular there are extremes on both ends.
Right. So
Master-slave relationships are not common, but they're not unusual.
So this is what ends up happening. So Dylan has certain body modifications. He eats a certain diet. He injects himself, and he injects certain areas with certain stuff. Like, he wants his balls to be the size of basketballs, which, in my opinion, is disgusting and ridiculous. I like you have to be that big. Like, that's not a good idea. So what ends up happening is, Jack ends up winning a what's it called? A passport lottery to get to the States and to become a U.S. citizen. And then when he comes to the States, he dates Dylan, whose other name is Beef and Noodles. And then he essentially breaks up with Jack to kind of make Jack want him back. And unfortunately, Jack succumbs to it. And then Jack ends up going back to Dylan. And then, like, 6 weeks after, Jack dies from embolism due to the silicone basically crossing in.
Horrible.
Yeah, oh, terrible. And so, but it gets even worse. Is like, so he tells Jack's mother that Jack passed away from pneumonia. So he lies. And so Jack's mother knows the whole story, unbeknownst to Dylan. And Dylan apparently got Jack to sign over his inheritance. And what makes the thing really shady is the fact that he got him to sign it, and he got, like, everything of Jack's under the way that it was. Because it's like, so let me get this straight. You were in this relationship, and you had him sign over your will, and he's gone. Like, that seems very suspicious. And so...
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. If it was a female, if it was a female that came from Australia to the US,
Yeah.
Citizenship, met a guy, ended up dying of an embolism due to silicone injections, would it be as popular? Would it be as widespread as this current story?
I mean, I think the layer in the story is the fact that he made Jack sign over money. Like, when there's money involved, that's right, but I think that is what is the worst part about the story.
That's exactly right. But to me, the worst part of the story is the fact that they're focused on it being two gay people because it gives gay people a negative view. You know?
I mean, I don't think it did. I don't think it made gay people look bad. I mean, I'm gay, and I didn't look at that story. All I thought of when I saw that story was that Dylan is excommunicated from the gay community. Like, if he ends up going up to, like, anybody, they pretty much push him away. They don't want him around. Like, he's been hardcore memed. Like when the interview between Dylan and Jack's mom, like, Dylan is confronted by Jack's mom, and Jack's mom says, "Oh, so I noticed that you signed over the will. Did you know that if Jack passes away, that Jack's brother actually gets the money? So you need to give the money to Jack's brother." So then Dylan essentially says to the mother, "Oh, not with that sass." And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, you lied to the guy's mother, and you basically took away the money from her. That makes you look really bad. And in my opinion, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's gay and a part of the gay community. It's everything to do with how he treated everyone around him and how he took advantage of the situation. That's the problem.
And my point is, how will that differ from a 40-year-old woman marrying an 80-year-old man and taking him for his money? Okay, when that
I mean, that's just as bad, in my opinion.
it is just as bad. But what I'm saying is that the focus for this particular story, okay, the only thing that makes it different to a normal story is the fact that it's two gay people. And I don't agree with that. I don't like that.
I mean, they have to, I mean, that's just the details of the story. It's not like, oh, all gay people. It's not like, I didn't feel like it was targeting.
It's not an attack on all gay people. It's not an attack on gay people. But what it is it's a case of saying, oh, this is happening to a gay person. This is horrible. And it is horrible. It is horrible. I'm not making myself very, very well understood here. I do apologize.
That's okay.
Let me switch topics for a second. Now, you mentioned that you were gay. I wasn't going to make any assumptions. So you told me you were gay. Are you involved in the local gay community?
I mean, to some degree, not all of it. There's always politics involved, unfortunately.
Of course. Politics plays a huge thing. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in Australia, okay, the lesbian community, okay, and the trans community are pretty much at war.
That's interesting.
Okay, because you have the hardcore feminist lesbians, and I mean first generation feminists, not third generation feminists that we currently have.
Okay.
You have got. I can explain the difference if you want, but you don't really want to go into it. It's a long story. But the hardcore lesbians are basically saying, no, I'm sorry, you are trans. You are not a female. You are not a lesbian. You are not involved in this community. And because of this, the trans community, the male to female trans community, are basically, they're at war with the lesbian community in Australia, because the lesbian community feels we fought for our right to have all these spaces. We fought for what we've got to get here. You were a male. For whatever reason, you've decided to become a female. That doesn't give you automatic rights to enter the spaces that we have carved out for ourselves through years of fighting. Does that make so? That's the current situation in Australia. I don't know if you have that where you are.
I don't recall that happened in where I live, but I'm pretty sure they would not want to see it that way, because the way they try to see it is it's the LGBT community, and, you know, the T is a part of the whole thing just as much as the L is. So to, like, push one over the other just seems kind of like making...
But it happens, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does. I'm not. I mean, I told you that IML story where the guy got completely, what's it called? Like the female to male, where he became the winner of the International Men's Leather Award, and there were people that were opposed in it, but they got canceled very fast.
Yeah, and this is the thing, okay? What makes it worse is, look, as I mentioned, I'm part of the BDSM community. Okay, so whilst I'm in that world, I'm not in that world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'll explain. You will have bears fighting over twinks.
This is true.
Okay?
This is true.
Right? And the problem is not that the unifying factor isn't, oh, we're all gay. It's we need something to fight about, and it happens in every group. Okay, it happens in the lesbian group with your lipstick lesbians versus your.
I think the bears and twinks.
Men lesbians.
I was gonna say with bears and twinks, it's more of a power dynamic.
That's exactly right. But
Yeah.
when bears fight other bears over twinks, okay, you ultimately have a problem, don't you? Okay, same as if you had, a bodybuilder and a bodybuilder fighting over a swimsuit model. All right. The problem is the politics that's used to identify everybody, because I don't care whether you're a bear, a twink, a leather boy, a fucking you're
Otter.
A fairy, you're an otter. Are they still called fairies? The really hello ones? I can't remember.
I think fairy is used as a term, actually.
It is used as a term, isn't it?
I mean, I've heard it used before, but not very often.
So, well, they're a very unique subset of the gay community, much like people who are hiss and scat fetishists are in part of the BDSM.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah, fucking totally, yeah, no, totally.
I'm sorry. I have to just cringe at that.
It's like the ones who like to suck on toes, okay?
Okay, at least that one I get, but, I mean, that one makes way more sense.
But you understand what I mean. It's the politics that's used to identify people, which causes the division within these communities. Okay, in the BDSM community in Australia, you've got what they call a DOMS munch, which means you're only allowed to attend if you're identifying as a top. You've got subs munches, where you're only allowed to go if you identify as a bottom. All right. You've got, a male dom cannot go to a female dom event. Men can't go to lesbian events. Women can't go to men's events. It's these identities and the identity politics that go into destroying these communities when they should make the communities stronger. And that's the issue. That is the fundamental issue over everything, is the politics that's used. You and I have had a conversation for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour? Okay?
Let's see.
We hold some opinions that are the same, and we hold some opinions that are not the same. That
right.
With each other on.
And it's perfectly fine to not agree with everyone.
Yeah. I'm not attacking you, and you're not attacking me. We're having an intellectual discussion.
Right.
Based on things that are common important to us. Okay? The problem that you have is that people today can't have those conversations. All right? Now, I mentioned before that, I gave a trigger warning for South Park. I had a friend of mine who I was potentially going to be involved with come over. And we're sitting down and we're having a chat. Now, I'm a big believer in you can tell a lot by somebody by the type of comedy they enjoy. Okay, so if they can take a joke and laugh, and it shows how emotionally stable they are. Right? So I put on the episode where Carton fights the midget. Okay, I don't know if you've heard that. It was the first introduction of PC Principle.
Carton fights the midget. Okay.
No, it wasn't that episode. It was the first episode with PC PC Principal. Okay, and so we're sitting down, and we're watching it, and PC Principal comes in and he addresses the school and he says, I've heard, people referring to rape as a hot Cosby, and I cracked up. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
What, as a hot Cosby? I want to look that up. A hot Cosby. The act of... Oh my god, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh my god, that's
But I'm laughing. I am laughing. That is funny, but that is terrible. Oh my god.
This individual person started crying. They were traumatized by that joke.
I mean, did they get personally affected by Cosby? Because then I could maybe see it.
That's exactly right. It's a fucking joke, okay? But this person was on my couch in fucking tears. They were that fucking triggered, okay? I ended up calming them down and, giving them a cup of tea, spending maybe another 20 minutes, and I'm fucking them off out the door. Because I realised that anybody who was that fragile, I would never be able to have a conversation with or learn anything from. And that's the important point of any discussion, is to learn somebody else's side.
A hot Cosby. Oh my god.
A hot Cosby. Fucking hilarious.
I mean, it's kind of... I guess it's because the joke's been around for a while that I'm not laughing as loudly, but yeah, I can see it.
It still gives you a bit of a chuckle.
It gave me a chuckle, I'll give it that.
In an hour and a half, okay, 2 hours, you're just going to be sitting down on the couch and you'll talk to your mum or your dad or your brother or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whoever you live with, or your dog, and you're just going to sit there and you're just going to laugh and you hear that fucking hot Cosby. Okay, because that's the type of joke it is. It'll make you giggle an hour at the end of life, right? But comedy is important. Comedy is something that we can all have in common. We might not all like the same type of comedy, okay? No one ever likes the same type of comedy, okay? I am somebody who does not like fart and poop comedy. I don't find that funny.
I will say, like, it's definitely very juvenile, but there are a few times where, if it's well placed, it might be a little funny, but I feel like it's definitely abused a lot.
Look, one of the funniest stories I've ever had in my life, okay, I'll tell you a story from my life. Now, I've got no problem sharing my life. I'm an open book. I don't give a fuck. People try to take me down my entire life. They have, including me. I can't die. One of the funniest things I ever saw was, I've got a little sister, okay? And years ago, when my little sister was toilet training, she was coming out of wearing nappies into using the toilet. She was running around the backyard, and my mum was putting the clothes on the line, okay? Because we have clotheslines in Australia where you hang your clothes up, right? All of a sudden, my mum starts screaming, quick, come help me. And so I run out to see my sister taking a crap in my mother's hand. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
Right? Yeah.
A good fart joke is great, okay? When Liar Liar movie with Jim Carrey, where he farts in the elevator and walks out and turns around and goes, "It was me!" Right? It's hilarious because we've all wanted to do that. All been a victim of something who's done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of comedy is very interesting because comedy is able to determine the emotional stability of an individual and the emotional development of an individual. Okay? I love dead baby jokes.
I was gonna ask, were you there when Tipster was live streaming and he was watching the anti-piracy screens?
No, I wasn't.
Oh my god, you should have seen them. They were hilarious. So, okay, so one anti-piracy screen, it's from this game called Nintendogs. So, in the anti-piracy screen video, this one guy rents a dog named Zeus. And he's taking care of it, and everything's fine. He takes the dog for a walk. He showers the dog. The dog wins a contest. Then he gets home from the contest, and apparently the dog's caught scurvy. And then it says, well, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. The dog is gone. So the dog passes away. And then it says, only legitimate dogs can live in legitimate copies of Nintendogs. And I'm like, that is brilliant. Because, you know, piracy and scurvy, get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, it's like you pirated a game of Nintendogs and your dog died. You kind of deserved it. Like, you, like, it's just a virtual dog. It's not real, so. But,
Well, look, when it comes to comedy, okay, when it comes to comedy, the more comedy people watch, the better evolve. And I don't know what it is with comedy, and I mean this sincerely. On a developmental level, on an intellectual level, on a emotional level, comedy is something that helps people grow. Okay, of the 7 intelligences that we have, or some people think they're up to 25 intelligence. So I'm just going to go with the standard 7 that people think we have.
uh-huh.
It's very telling, okay? Because if somebody knows how to laugh at themselves, then you know that they can handle dealing with a lot, okay? In my opinion, emotional development is the most important aspect of development that there is, okay? Because if you can handle bad shit happening in your life and not freak out about it, you're going to be able to handle things in your life a lot more extreme, okay? Because I'm sure for you,
I mean, it's okay to be upset. It's just don't overreact about it.
That's exactly right, okay? And the way that I explain it to people is like this. There are 2 types of people in the world, okay? The first type of person walks into a tree and gets angry at the tree. The other type of person walks into the tree and gets angry at themselves for walking into a tree. The tree has always been there. The fact that you walked into it is not the tree's fault. The tree just didn't sprout up.
Yeah.
Okay? You walked into a fucking tree. So rather than going, oh my God, you're a fucking, talking to yourself, oh my God, I'm a fucking idiot, I walked into a tree. You then get angry at the tree. So you're getting irrationally angry for no reason at something that has no impact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like the story about the woman, the bull, the king, and the prince, and who feels the most guiltiest. And obviously, the bull feels no guilt because the bull is just being an animal. Like, animals don't care if they end someone's life. It's like,
exactly right.
Like, bulls are not going to feel guilt. If anyone would feel guilt, it would be the prince for forcing the princess to marry. Because if he had cared about her, he wouldn't have tried to marry her because she didn't want it. So.
That's true.
So that was actually from Silent Hill. Was it? Yeah, well, it was in Shattered Memories for the Wii. There was a therapist who tells a story, and the story is there's a princess in a kingdom with her father who's the king, and then there's a prince from another kingdom who wants to marry her, but she does not marry him. But royal protocol says that the king has to make it official because she has to get married. So he takes her away to his kingdom and tries to consummate the marriage, but she does not want to go through it, so she runs away, and she gets away from the safety of the castle, and she runs into a forest, and she finds a bull, who charges at her and ends her life. And then you have to tell which of the 4 characters feel the guiltiest from the most guilty to the least, and obviously the bull is not going to feel any guilt, because the bull is just doing what its natural instincts are telling it to.
That's a very good story. I like that.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna steal that straight up. I'm gonna steal that.
Oh yeah, no, I totally tell all the time. It's great. And like, and my brother was surprised. I was like, it's pretty obvious. Like if you take a moment and you think about it, like obviously the bull, the one that took the female's life is not, it's an animal. It's like the one that's going to feel guilty is the one that rushed her into marriage. Like that's the one who's going to feel the most guilty.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take on it.
I mean, I guess I could see how someone would argue the bull should feel guilty, but again, how would you argue?
I wouldn't argue the bull would be guilty. I'd rather the girl would feel guilty. The princess would feel guilty.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't think she feels guilty because I think she would rather run away and take the risk than having to be with someone she doesn't want to be with.
Okay.
I don't think she would not, if she did it would be one thing if she felt guilty in her passing, but she's not feeling guilty in her passing. She's feeling upset that she's being forced to do something that she doesn't want to, and she's willing to take any action regardless of the outcome.
That's an interesting take on it. That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
I will point out two things to you. Okay. Marrying for love only started in the 19th century, in the late 19th century. Okay. And two, marrying for arranged marriages is something that was handed down through nobility for generations.
Yeah.
So I would argue that the princess would feel guilty, should feel the most guilt because she has actually ruined two kingdoms. Okay.
Okay.
Rather than accepting her role as a noble woman in a society where she is treated with so much respect, given so much things. Okay, and I'm talking European. I'm not talking Asian.
Okay.
Things them differently.
Okay.
So when you look throughout the history of the world, okay, marrying for love is only a relatively new concept. The concept of love, okay, is actually only a result of Walt Disney. All right.
Yeah, right.
Is the reason. No, I'm serious. I've got a full argument. I can argue this.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Right. Because prior to Disney, and fairy tales have been around forever. Okay. The Grimm's brothers stole tons of them. Okay. Walt Disney stole tons off of them. Okay. But fairy tales have been part of people's culture for their entire lives. Right. For the history of culture. But what is so new is you finding someone that you love and you being able to marry them. Okay. Prior to that, you never married above your station. You never married above your income. You married the same type of people who are in the same caste system as you did. So it was only with the dissolution of caste systems that love actually found its form. Walt Disney, by putting it onto screen with starting with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where the princess runs away and meets a fancy prince. That's actually not how the story ends, but that's what Disney has said. Okay, and so you've got all these cases of princesses finding adversity, marrying foreign princes. Then you've got commoners marrying noble people. How often in your lifetime have you ever heard of a commoner marrying a prince? I can tell you now how many there are, but there's not many.
Yeah, I know there's not many. I was gonna say, I think there was one in Sweden. Like, didn't someone marry like more of a commoner there? I heard there was a story. What?
There's three.
I was gonna say, does Princess Diana? Does Diana count?
No, she was a noblewoman.
Oh, she was. Okay.
She was from the house of. She's not from the house of Windsor.
I heard in Sweden, like there was someone that married their trainer, their athletic trainer.
Yeah, but she's not a first in line. Okay.
So it has to be a first in line.
Yeah, there's two. There's only two. Princess Mary of Denmark who's an Australian, and Princess Middleton, who is Prince William's wife.
Right. She's a commoner.
They're the only two, okay, who are going to become in William's wife. She will be. I don't know if they're going to give her queen consort or they're going to give her princess consort.
Didn't they move?
No, that was Harry and Meghan.
Where did Harry and Meghan move to?
Los Angeles.
Oh, I thought they moved to Canada for some reason. I don't know.
They're living next door to Elon Musk or somebody. All right, so they're well and truly Canada. Princess Mary of Denmark was born in Tasmania in Australia. Okay, fucking Tasmania. They're the fucking yokels of our country, let me tell you this. Alright? But she will be queen when when her husband, I keep thinking it's Hendrik, it's not Hendrik, some Danish name. When he becomes king, she will become queen. Okay? Only two. Alright? That's why you've got this concept of and a good example of how the current concept of the caste system still works is in India. Okay, you don't marry below your caste, you don't marry above your caste. You marry on the same socio-political side that you're on, or the same level that you're on. Okay, that's how it works. Same as in China. All right, same as in a good example is North Korea. Ironically enough, of a caste system and how you can't marry anyone below your status. All right, these are all things that are completely fucked up, but they still exist, and they're a remnant from an older generation, an older time when marrying love was anathema. Sorry, that was a long rant.
That's okay. Anyway, are you watching my screen right now?
I am.
Okay, so here we're gonna show you the Tomodachi Life one. This one is hilarious. I gotta show it to you because this one is great.
Bro, get YouTube Premium.
No.
Mate, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. Get rid of all the fucking ads.
You're watching, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
A lovely beach.
Hi, Morty. Hello, Rick. What's that over there, Morty? Ahoy, matey.
Fucking pirate
We'll be
shit.
here to plunder your booty. Fire the cannon. AI. Prepare for invasion.
Is that Pete?
Is that what?
Pete.
You'll have to ask after. I can't change the audio level. Sorry.
No, you're right. It's like Princess Peach.
Oh, you're asking if it's Princess Peach?
Yes.
I could not tell who that was. Newsflash.
Pirates have attacked Micah's Island and are now loading and attacking the islanders. On the day of the raid, A.O. Numa had this to say. They have taken everything and everyone dear to me. Please somebody say that.
I don't know. And A.O. Numa looks pretty happy.
He was afraid for his life.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that's kind of funny.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, now pay attention what the bomb screen says at the end of it all. Micah's Island has been plundered and ransacked. Many islanders have been taken hostage. There is nothing left. Piracy is a serious crime. To avoid this fate in the future, please purchase a legitimate copy of Tomodachi Life. For more information, support.nintendo.com. That is brilliant. Oh yeah, right? Like, that is just brilliant. So let me show you the Nintendogs one I told you about earlier. And then there's one for Animal Crossing. That one's really quick, actually. I could do that one really.
Fan of the old school ones, you know. You wouldn't steal the car. You wouldn't steal the television.
Good morning. You came to play, didn't you? Oh. Clear something up for me. Would today be December 21st, 2020, and the time is 6:23 a.m.? Thank you. I don't trust the clock. I had to send it to the fishes, sleep with the fishes. Speaking of fishes, they could swim in this road. This rain be merciless. I know. Well, 'tis a cry and shame, considering you came out all the way out here. Now wait a moment, I never got your name. So, Micah, eh? Where have I heard that name before? And further news regarding the international manhunt for Micah, who has been convinced of crimes involving the theft of video games. That you, son? Well, then, best if I let you go, Micah. Can't be having a criminal around these parts. Ooh. Piracy and counterfeiting Nintendo game games is legal. That's great, isn't it?
Mate, some of this, look, I reckon they should do more of these. Hang on a second, give me 1 second.
Okay, okay.
Oh, sorry about that. Just had to sort my kid out.
Assault your kid out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 3-year-old. He's running around the house.
Ah, okay.
Please put his learning shows back on for him, otherwise.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to Nintendogs. You ready for this one?
Yep.
Okay. This is one of my favorites. Oh, look at all the cute doggies! Hmm. Choose a breed.
Oh, I can see what's gonna fucking happen.
Well, I think I told you already, but yeah.
Yeah, the dog died.
Yep.
So what they do is they make you pick this fucking dog up, choose the cutest one you can fucking make, thinking that it's gonna be for you, and then they just fucking kill it. What arsehole?
I mean, they deserved it, though, because they pirated a copy of the game. Oh, hey, Zeus. Go eat your food. Okay. Take a bath. Aw, going on a walk.
Dog? They did well with the fucking animation of the dog.
Well, this is actually the DS, but yeah, they did a really good job of animating the dog and making the dog look lifelike. Dun, dun. Oh, he's drinking.
How long did he play it for?
I mean, all I know is the video lasts like 3 minutes. And welcome to the beginner class. Did you see that? Hold on, did you see that it said?
Yeah.
Hold on. The battle for supremacy is nearing its finale. That's just terrible.
Because it's something they would say as well. Like, it's literally something they'd say.
That's actually pretty impressive, a jumping catch. First place in the frisbee. Oh. Hey Zeus. Oh, what's that question mark? Zeus is sick with scurry. Oh no.
Wait, give him some oranges.
Uh-oh. Zeus has died. Nintendo can only survive in legitimate Nintendo DS cartridges. For more information, please purchase a genuine copy of Nintendox and see the information booklet contained within. And then the best is they actually zoom in on a gravestone. I just think it's so brilliant. It's so on the nose, too.
It is, but it's really well done. Like, some of the copywriting stuff that they have these days is really, really good. Like, I remember back in the day, back in the day before YouTube, okay, you used to go online, you used to download games, okay, ISOs, right, and then you download a crack to crack the ISO. And then it got to a point where they started becoming pre-cracked. So the ones you download off of torrent sites, they'd be pre-cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now they've gotten to the point where they just upload the ISO. They'll let you play the game, and it'll be like fucking really, really short, and your character will fucking die from scurvy. And they don't even, I think they're doing pretty fucking good. I think they're doing pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna play one. I'm gonna play one more. So this is Super Mario Galaxy. I kind of felt bad because I showed Tipster the Nintendogs one, and then we found a Paul Legends video where he basically said that he didn't want to live anymore, and I was like, oh god. But I mean, granted, it's not like I knew that was gonna happen, so.
Or did you make it happen? Nah.
No, I wouldn't do that. That'd be terrible.
Well,
So,
I love this game. Oh, the Super Mario World on the GameCube.
piracy is wrong. Goodbye. So he's basically on this cloud that's far away from where he needs to be. Right next to a black hole.
I'm amazed by some of the animations and the game development techniques they do these days. It fucking amazes me. As soon as he gets that star, he's gonna go into a black hole.
You. You've made a mistake. Piracy is a serious crime. Report the stolen software immediately.
Wow, that is fucking amazing.
Well then. Did you purchase this game? No. Maybe.
Like being rickrolled.
I mean, I just absolutely love this trend on YouTube right now. You lied to us. Criminals don't get power stars in this game. The power stars are not... Weird. Okay. Pal, you really can't do anything. Oof. And then zooms into a black hole.
Isn't it ironic when Mario is the original thief that they're arguing about piracy? Quite funny, actually. It tickles me.
Game over.
That's a fucking great video.
Return the stolen software now. Okay. Okay. Goodbye.
You know where all this anti-piracy shit came from, right? You know where it comes from?
Where does it come from?
It comes from a back when they released original consoles. Not original consoles. What I'm talking about when you had the big arcade games.
Yeah.
Well, there was Nintendo brought out a Street Fighter, okay, an edition of Street Fighter. I think it was Street Fighter 2, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is that with the game lag was so slow. Okay, that the lag on the game was slow. The characters didn't move very much. So a company started making these chips that you'd put into the arcade that would basically make them all like they were on steroids. It'd speed the game up by 2.5, maybe 3 times. Okay. And so this company started selling these chips on the boards themselves as a different game.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Ultimate, I think it was Ultimate Edition or I think it was Street Fighter 2 Ultimate.
I think they also did stuff with like Missile Command, like they made Missile Command harder.
Yes, that is how. What was the name of the company? It wasn't. That was a company actually sprouted up. It was a group of guys from MIT who quit university.
Yeah.
And started writing gaming programs. And
Yeah, it was covered in high score. It was covered in high score.
Yes.
That was, well, I was saying High Score is the name of the Netflix series.
Great series.
Yeah, it is great. I love it. I have, actually. They also cover Roberta Williams.
Yeah.
And how she did, like, Phantasmagoria.
Yes, I saw that. I wish that is a game I'd like to play.
Phantasmagoria?
No, not that one. What was the Lost Gay one? Was that Phantasmagoria?
What was the what?
The Lost Gay one. There was a gay guy who wrote.
That was, I'm trying to remember which one that one was. I'd have to look under role-playing.
But that was the one that I was looking at. That one, I would love to play that game because I'm a Diablo 2 player. Okay, that's pretty much all I play. Diablo 2 and Zelda.
Okay, I can look it up right now. Hold on, and I can tell you. Okay, Richard Garrett, creator of the Ultima series. Yeah, Gayblade. Ryan Best, developer of LGBT. Okay, so let me go back. Covers the early growth of the arcades. Rebecca Heineman. Wasn't Rebecca trans? I'm trying to remember.
Rebecca is male to female. Yeah, yes. She has been female for a long time.
Yeah.
She was born as a male. I'm trying to put this as
Gender dysphoria. Was diagnosed with gender dysphoria and began transitioning to a woman. Has 5 kids. Is married to Janelle Jacques. I actually did go to the what's it called? The video game exhibit in Smithsonian in 2012. That was fun. That was like years ago though. What was I also?
I love my history.
Yes. Nolan Bushnell, co-founder of Atari and Chuck E. Cheese. And let's see
The
what.
history of Tetris, right?
Yeah, I saw it on Icons.
Yeah, the guy who created Tetris only started getting money for Tetris like 35 years after he wrote it.
Oh yeah.
Tetris was owned by the Russian Soviet Union.
Yeah, Elrog. Or I can't remember if it's
He only ended up
Elorg.
he only ended up getting shares in the company because an American gentleman bought it.
Okay,
Bought all the rights to it and gave him like 50% of it or something like.
so I got it.
20%, something like
Doug
that.
McRae,
Yep.
Steve Gulson, and Mike Horitz of General Computer Corporation made accelerator boards for arcade games.
So that was what they were called, General Computer Corp, GCC.
Yeah.
That was who I was thinking about. But yeah, mate, like fucking brilliant, eh? Those blokes, fucking brilliant. Now,
Right.
have you seen the history of swear words yet?
The history, you mean, are you talking about role-playing? I think swear comes in.
No. There's a new documentary series called The History of Swear Words.
The history of swear words, okay.
Yes, on Netflix, okay, and it has got the best fucking host for the show.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Okay, Nicolas Cage is talking about the history of swear words.
Oh my
It's
god.
fucking amazing. All right, it is amazing. I watched the first episode with my wife last night, called "Fuck." The first episode's on "fuck." The word "fuck," brilliant. However, if you do like, I don't know if you're a TV fan or you like good shows. I just started getting into a new drama. Okay, and I am in no way a fan of this particular drama, but it's a K-pop drama called Crash Landing Onto You.
Okay.
Crash Landing on You. Okay, it's entirely in Korean, but it's the story. It's basically the story of a Korean heiress, and when I mean heiress, she's going to inherit. She runs her own business, like multi-billion-dollar business, who goes paragliding and gets caught in a hurricane and ends up being thrown into North Korea.
Oof.
Yeah, mate, it's really good. It's really good. The first episode, I was very impressed with. I was really impressed with it. So that's another one to watch if you got some downtime.
Have you ever watched Unbeatable Banzuke?
No.
Okay, it's kind of like the same idea as Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Like, they're given an obstacle course, and they have to get through the obstacle course. And there was an interesting one where they were on a bike, and they had to go on certain obstacles. Like, one obstacle was they had to hop along a bunch of oil drums to get to another side. And then another is they have to bike across some platforms. And another one is like they have to go on this ramp and they have to go through this what's it called, like I'm trying to think of what it's called, but I can't think of what it is, like some kind of like ring with paper in the middle and they have to break through the paper, I guess. Like,
Haven't seen it.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's similar to like if you've seen Ninja Warrior.
I have seen Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
But I prefer the Japanese one.
Yeah, obviously.
Because and look, the Japanese, they make some fucking crazy TV shows. Okay.
I heard there was one where there was like, okay, so you have to, so if you're there's a guy television show and he's like practically naked and his goal is to not get off on TV while being basically sucked off by another guy, and I'm like, that's great, I want to watch that.
Look, I'm gonna try and find this one for you. I'm gonna try and find this one that I want to show you. Here we go. All right. So there is no. I'm gonna PM it to you.
Okay. Oh, were you around when that whole Susie Lou drama went down?
I was. I've been in and out since just before the. Hang on. Come on, you fucking idiot. I was around about 6 months before he started covering Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, that whole Billy Mitchell is like one rabbit hole. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just. I'm really shocked that Guinness took his records back. I was like, no. And especially when they're saying the original adjudicators, I'm like, well, if the original adjudicators are Twin Galaxies, then why did you accept it?
Politics. It's all politics. But I sent you a video. I sent you a little clip.
Okay.
Load the clip up. I think you'll find it. It is one of the best Japanese game shows I've seen in like forever.
Okay. Let's. Yep.
Okay, so just pause it for a second.
Okay.
So the goal is they need to say the full sentence before the time runs out. Okay? That's all you need to know. Press play.
Okay. So he got it.
He got it.
He missed it. Oh, did it hit his ball sack? Did that hit his...
Just watching. It did. It does a slow mo. Okay? You don't even need subtitles. You know exactly what every other person is thinking.
Oh, they switched the phrase, right?
Yeah, they switched the.
Because otherwise, like... Ooh. Oh, he actually read... Oh, he didn't. He failed. I felt like they... But they gave him time. Oh, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. Ooh! That looked like that hurt. I think that one guy is regretting it. He's like, oh my god, it's gonna hurt. Oh, this is great. I love this. Oof.
There's another one. That's the same blokes.
And into the balls. I love the face of the purple one. Like if Supernatural brought you here.
Dude, mate, I've been down some weird rabbit holes on YouTube. Let me tell you, I have got some of the craziest shit you'll ever fucking see. Some of the weirdest, funniest shit you'll ever see. One of my favorite things to do is watch commercials that don't advertise, like you don't know what they're fucking advertising for the last second.
Like,
What's this ad?
wasn't there an ad for Metro, and it's like, dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Did you ever see that?
No, I haven't. You'll have to send it to me.
Wait, hold on.
I'm in Australia, mate. Look, I watch TV shows from America, and when they leave the ads in, I am amazed at some of the fucking advertisements. Like some of your drug advertisements, like may cause death. Like, why would you fucking take it then? May cause fucking death. Yeah, it's horrifying.
Okay, you ready? You're watching?
Yep.
Alright, so I think I'm... What's it called? I'm transmitting. So, alright, ready?
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private parts as piranha bait. Dumb ways to die.
So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Get your toast out with a fork, do your own electrical work, teach yourself how to fly, eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Invite a psycho killer inside, scratch a drug dealer's brand new ride, take your helmet off in outer space, use a clothes dryer as a hiding place. Dumb ways to die, so many
Dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. So catchy.
keep a rattlesnake as a pet, sell both your kidneys on the internet, eat a tube of super glue. I wonder, what's this red button do? Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dress up like a moose during hunting season. Disturb a nest of wasps for no good reason. Stand on the edge of a train station platform. Drive around the boom gates at a level crossing. Run across the tracks between the platforms. They may not rhyme, but they're quite possibly dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Be safe around trains. A message from Metro.
Did you expect that? That was great.
That's gonna be in my fucking head for hours.
Be safe around trains.
I'm gonna send that to the wife, so she can fucking have that earworm stuck in her fucking head.
Dumb ways to die. That was from Melbourne, so that was in Australia actually.
Seen it. That's in a different state than I am.
Oh, where are you?
I'm in Sydney.
Okay, yeah, that's far away. That's like on opposite ends of the country, isn't it?
No, Melbourne's probably about 8 hours drive away, maybe 10 hours drive, but Melbourne's a shithole full of yuppies and liberals, and it's not the type of conversation somebody like me would fit in.
Yuppies and liberals. Dumb ways to die. So many times.
Have you seen the postcards, the pictures of the bloke on a tray like, don't be this guy? Have you? Fuck it! It was done by Queensland Rail. Hold on, I'll see if I can pull it up. It's brilliant. Queensland Rail released a bunch of like little advertisements, like little pictures, okay, which is like, you know, and it was one of those, you know, Sam was thinking of jumping in front of the oncoming train today, then he decided not to because it would inconvenience the locomotive. Good thinking, Sam. Train etiquette, super simple stuff. All right, and stuff like that. It's they did it really well. Steve is racing. He urinates all over in his pants, not over the train. On yes, Steve-o. Yeah, stupid little shit like that. Very funny. Very funny. Very entertaining.
Right. It says Lucy fell in front of the train. She screamed out for help. Help me. I don't want to die this way. So Luke came running and
came running over and cut her throat instead.
That's terrible. George watches as Paul wheelchair falls to stop and continue onto the rail. George would not do something, but knows he's not allowed past. Knows not allowed past the L line. Great work, George. Let's see. Adam falls over to see up Amy's skirt. Amy thinks he might be hurt. Quality PV. Perfect Adam.
So it brought up like hundreds of these.
Okay, let's see this. Josh is a racist. Heaps seats that in sense and steers straight ahead so Sonny can sit. Thanks, Josh. That's terrible. Oh my god. Gavin shoots Rodney over a bikey feud. He always uses a silencer in the quiet carriage. Stop. That was brutal. That's savage. Let's see. It says Shannon has a fetish for black chicks. She doesn't. What though? Oh my god. That's terrible. Sally, as far as she steps off the train. Thank you, Sally. Oh god. Here's another one. Do. Don't. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I think we can agree on that one.
There's a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of the baby do.
Making baby smile. Do. Don't. Lifting. Introducing baby to pets. Is the baby literally in water? Oh my god. Good.
Yes, that's what. Yes.
Bad. The alcohol. That's funny. Bonding with baby. That's a good one. Exercising baby. Yeah, obviously you don't want the baby to lift. Freaking. Oh my god. Who would buckle their baby like that? Oh my god. Who would, like, fistful into the baby's diaper? That is terrible.
I know, but it made you laugh, and that's the most important thing. You can imagine there would be people who'd look at those pictures and get triggered. There's 27 different ways baby do's and don'ts. Just so you know, there's 27 of them.
They're very funny. Okay, there's more apparently. Checking.
Yeah, there's 27 of them.
Fun games for baby. Good. Bad. Actually, you know what? The chess one's honestly not that offensively bad, so it's not as funny. Oh my god. Testing the baby's bottle. Okay, that one's good. I like that one. That one's funny. What is it? Washing the baby. Oh my god.
Massaging the baby.
Oh wait, hold on. I can get to that one. Massaging the baby. Checking, exercising, nursing, buckling, taking supplements. Wait, I gotta see that one. Oh, I get it. Steroids.
I haven't seen those pregnancy ones.
Massaging baby. Why would you deep tissue massage a baby?
Because that's what people do. People who've got no idea when they see massage and they try to do a massage, they use their hands as chopping into your back.
That looks really bad and painful and playing with baby.
Taking baby's temperature.
Okay, we'll get that in a second. Hold on. Lifting, walking with baby. Bad. What? Why does he have the... Oh, that's terrible. Okay, let's look for... What was the one that you recommended?
Taking temperature.
Oh.
Taking baby's...
That looks kind of dirty. That looks... Wow, the thermometer's like way out the baby's butt.
Check that temperature. You know what the problem is? You know what the worst part is? People actually do that shit. That's why they've had to say, this is how you do it. This is how you don't do it. There are some people out there who fucking seriously check the baby's temperature.
Who would actually put a baby on a treadmill? That's terrible.
Hilarious, though.
In a comic, sure.
Look, I'll be honest. I put weights on my kids.
Who puts a baby in a dryer?
You're gonna have hours of fun with this, you know that, right?
Oh my god. Okay, wait. So, oh yeah, I get it. Because you should hold a baby with both hands. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Exercising baby. No. Washing baby. Drawing. Lifting. Who would lift a baby by its head? Bundling baby. It's terrible.
Very funny.
Oh my god. The Bears is, I don't get it. It's like, let me think about that for a second. That's pretty obvious.
Very much so.
Changing a baby's diaper. Yes. No. Wait, is she using her sweater? Wait, what?
Using her skirt to wipe the baby's ass.
That's definitely a last resort at worst.
Oh, no, you just get rid of your fucking skirt.
Yeah, that's...
At that point, if you were doing that, you'd just be throwing out your skirt, walking around fucking in whatever you got underneath it.
I think this one, with the bonding with the baby, is funny. With the baby at the table. That one's great. Wait, which one is this? Oh my god, they gave a clown face.
Make that baby smile.
Google. Bing. Damn, Bing. Driving with baby, don't. Why would you? Oh my god. I don't get why anyone would want to, like, fellatio the baby's bottle. That'd be disgusting. Did you hear that?
Like
Yeah?
they have some of these are new. Some of these I haven't seen yet, so I'm enjoying them with you.
Lifting,
Baby.
exercising, containing. I was gonna say, did you know Caillou is over now?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, thank God, because Caillou was terrible. Did you see the Family Guy clip with, hold on, let me show it to you. Family Guy. Because they basically nail on the head how bad Caillou is.
Caillou was upset. Why am I bald? I'm not a baby. I'm 4. Are kids just bald in Canada? So Caillou decided to look himself up on Wikipedia. God, this is dull. Maybe I'm supposed to be a cancer survivor, and this show is very inspiring. But Caillou wasn't a cancer survivor. Caillou's low testosterone father again indulged Caillou's tantrum, clearly trying to raise a sociopath.
It's okay, Caillou. I'll bake you a pie,
He said, his body flooding with effort. Why are we sitting on the washing machine?
because in Canada, men have vaginas.
Hanging out with Caillou's beta dad. In fact, I'm meeting him at the park to eat unsalted saltines on the swings. I feel like you're wearing what Rachel Maddow would wear to a pumpkin patch.
That was good, right?
That was very good.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah, Caillou was a terrible show. I just remember I actually did have to watch it because my nieces and nephews would watch it. And I'd be like, why are you having them watch it? Well, okay, it's still terrible, but I think the Teen Titans Go series is also pretty bad.
You want to know the best cartoon series?
Okay.
The original Noddy.
The original what?
Noddy.
Naughty?
Yeah, Noddy. Okay. It was the story about a bloke who lived on his own. Alright. He drove around a little red convertible sport car. Okay. And his best friend was named Big Ears. And there was a monkey that was always stealing stuff with her tail. The tail was for each other because the tail had a mind of its own. Like, great fucking cartoon show. Okay? Fucking great cartoon show. But it got taken off the air because it was considered too gay. And then it came back. But there's a lot of things about these TV shows that people don't realise. Did you ever watch The Smurfs?
I have watched it, yeah.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea, but it's not bad.
You know the Smurfs are an introduction into communism, right?
Because they're all blue.
No, because Smurf stands for